Can you hear me? Am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Hello, madam. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome all of you to the reading comprehension class. So, we have started this class. Basically, we are practicing some comprehension because you know that reading comprehension comes more or less in many competitive exams. So, there are some do's and don'ts which we are going to read. Like I have already discussed, but all of you are new students, so I'll discuss it once again. Then we will go for some reading and we'll practice. That's all. So for reading comprehension, there will be like some passages. You need to read it first, and you need to understand the meaning, and then you need to go for the question answer. So there are some tips first you can read the question and then you can come for the answer. So that it will be easier to understand what are the like questions and what are the answers you need to find. So first you find the question, whatever the question is coming, read the question, then come to the passage. But don't try to make any answer by your own, because if you write that, it will be wrong, because like there is negative marking in competitive exam. So you need to find the answer from the passage only. Okay, so you cannot do that. And also first try to read the first paragraph and then the last paragraph, and also try to highlight the like key points, key words. And also like when you are practicing at home, how much you will practice, you will understand that like you can get to know so many vocabularies, so many types of passages. So you can note down all the new words you are getting, and you can read it from the dictionary so that you can get a big vocabulary also. So last day also we had read one passage. So today also we are going to read one passage. Just a second. I think you can see my screen. So this is the passage we are going to read. So you have to read the following paragraphs and answer the next two questions. Like there is a place 40 kilometers northeast of Portland, Victoria, which makes for an unusual visit. Now you can see this is the starting where we are getting some information that this place is in northeast of Portland, Victoria, which makes for an unusual visit. It is Lake Conda. So this is the name of the lake, Lake Conda. Here are to be found remains of aboriginal settlements, the circular stone bases of several hundred huts, rock-lined water channels, and stone tools chipped from rock normally found in the area. So here are to be found remains aboriginal settlements like circular stone bases of several hundred nuts. What are the things you can get here? What are the aboriginal settlements? Aboriginal means unusual, not not unusual, like not very original. So let me tell you exact meaning of aboriginal. So you can also note it down. Aboriginal means native. The like if you like the similar meaning, synonym is native. It means the existing in a land from the earliest times or from the before arrival of colonists. So we can get one word, aboriginal. It means native. Now the circular stone bases of several hundred yards, rock-lined water channels, stone tools shaped from rock not normally found in the area. So these are the aboriginals found in the area. One of the attraction of the Lake Konda long ago was its fish. So what is the attraction of Lake Konda? Is its fish. And the most startling evidence of Aboriginal technology and engineering to be found there are the systems built to trap fish. Water courses had been constructed by redirecting streams, building stone sites, and even scrapping out new channels. At strategic spots, they piled rocks across the water courses to create weirs and build funnels to channel eels and fish into conical baskets. This is an eel fishing technique which has hardly changed to the present day. Besides some of the larger traps, there are the outlines of rectangular stone-lined ponds, probably to hold fish and keep them fresh. So on the bluffs overlooking the lake, stone circles are all that remain of ancient dwellings. Not all of stones were quarried locally. The huts vary in size, but all have gaps for doorways located on the lee side, away from the prevailing wind. One theory is that the stone walls were only waist to shoulder high, with the top roped by branches and possibly packed with mud. The site presents a picture of a semi-settled people, quite different from the stereotype of nomadic hunter-gatherers of desert. Okay, so on the first paragraph, you can see that it is talking about one place called Portland, Victoria. Now there is a lake which makes an unusual visit. Now here are to be found remains of some Aboriginal settlements, like some native settlements, like 100 yards rock-lined water channels, stone tools, sheep, like that. So one of the attraction is Lake Konda and its fish, and most startling evidence is to be found there that to trap fish. So it's like old place, and the old people had made one technology to trap fish. So water courses have been constructed by redirecting streams. So there were streams like rivers, those were redirected to some other direction, and water courses were constructed by that. Building stone sides and even scrapping out new channels. As strategic spots, they pile rocks across the watercourse to create weirs and build funnels to channel eels and fish to conical baskets. Okay, so eel fish was available there. This is an eel fishing technique which has hardly changed to the present day. So eel fishing technique is also kind of same present day also. So besides some of the larger traps, there are the outlines of rectangular stone-lined ponds, probably to hold fish and keep them fresh. One on the bluffs overlooking the lake, stone circles are all that remain of ancient buildings. So not all the stones were Just a second. Okay. On the bluffs overlooking the lake, stone circles are all that remain of ancient dwellings. Not all of the stones were quarried locally. The huts vary in size, but all have gaps for doorways located on the lee side, away from the prevailing wind. So, on the bluffs overlooking the lake, stone circles were made that remain of ancient dwellings, means ancient house. Not all the stones were quarried locally. So now there is another word, quarried. So you can note it down. Quarry means a place, typically a large deep pit, with stone or other materials or have been extracted. So make note down of quarry, Quarri, sorry, RRY. Okay, now the site presents a picture of a semi-settled people different from the stereotype of the nomadic hunter-gatherers of the desert. Okay, now what the site presents, it presents is the picture of a semi-settled people. The people were not settled properly in the place, but they're semi-settled. So quite different from the stereotype of nomadic hunter-gatherers of the desert. So you can understand there was a desert. These people was like nomadic, not fully settled, but unsettled people, semi-settled. So, what is the meaning of nomadic? Who can tell me what is the meaning of nomadic? Can you guess by reading the passage? Nomadic is a tribe like who doesn't stay in one place like for a long time. So you can say vagabond. Okay, so we have got so many like new words here. So while you will practice at them, you have to look at the new words. So this is one, nomadic. It means vagabond, they like people who are not settled in one place. Then you can also tell me what are the words. We query, aboriginal. So these are the words. Now look at the question. The word stereotype as used in the above passage means. Now where is the word stereotype has been used? Who can tell? The stereotype is used here. What does it mean? There are five options. Distant culture, opposite picture, electronic print version, standard view, none of this. Now, what do you think? The site presents a picture of a semi-settled people quite different from the stereotype of nomadic hunter-gatherers of the desert. Stereotype generally means like those who are following the like same rule. So distant culture is a wrong answer. Opposite picture is also wrong answer. Electronic print version is wrong answer. Standard view Wrong answer. So I think it is none of these. So number E will be the right answer. Lake Kona is seen as unusual mainly because. So why Lake Konda is unusual? It is written here, it is unusual visit. So why it is unusual? What are the five options? It is so close to a main town. There are remains of buildings still to be seen. It reveals a society that was at least partly settled and had building and engineering skills. There is evidence that some of the building stone was imported. It shows the lake dwellers were totally reliant on fish and on for a food source. So why it was unusual? Because here you can find some aboriginal settlements. The number B, it can be the right answer. Like there are remains of buildings still to be seen. Or so this one you cannot tell because this is coming in this paragraph. So you can tell that there are some remains of buildings that still to be seen. Okay. So there are only two questions and we have solved those. So like this, we have to do. So I will do one like another paragraph now. So I want to ask you, did you understand whatever we have discussed till now? Any query? Any query? Okay, so I will read the paragraph, but I want one student to read it. Who will read it? So I'm reading this. So like between us, there was, as I have already said somewhere, the bond of the sea. So besides holding our hearts together through long periods of separation, it had the effect of making us tolerant of each other's yearns and even convictions. So the paragraph is starting like between us, there was, as I have already said somewhere, the bond of sea. So, like maybe with me or with someone, there is a bond, the bond of sea. So, besides holding our hearts together through long period of separation, so when separation is going on, so it had the effect of making us tolerant of each other's yearns and even convictions. So, you can understand that there is a bond in the separation also, and like it had the effect of making us tolerant, like the two people became tolerant of each other's convictions, each other's doubts and yearns. The lawyer, the best of old fellows, had, because of his many years and many virtues, the only cushion on deck and was lying on the only rug. The accountant had brought out already a Prajal Kumar. Can you hear me? Reddy Jagadish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm asking that I want one student to read the passage. Can you read the passage?
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, please read from the beginning. Loudly.
Okay, ma'am. Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, please start.
Okay, between us, there was, as I have already said somewhere, the bond of the sea. Besides holding our hearts together through long periods of separation. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, continue.
Okay, ma'am. It had the effect of making us tolerant of each other's yams and even convictions. The lawyer, the best of old fellows, had, because of his many years and many virtues, the only cushion on deck and was lying on the only rug. The accountant had brought out already a box of dominoes and was toying architecturally with the bones. Marlowe sat cross-legged right off, leaning against the mizzen mast. He had sunken cheeks, a yellow complexion, a straight back, an ascetic aspect, and with his arms dropped, the palms of hands outwards, resembled an idol. The director, satisfied the anchor had good hold, made his way aft and sat down. Amongst us, we exchanged a few words leisurely.
Okay, but did you understand the meaning?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you explain?
Uh, I didn't understand the full sentence, ma'am.
Okay,
I
but
have confusion, small
partly you
confusion.
have understood, right? Okay, who can read the second paragraph?
Yeah, ma'am. Afterwards, there was silence on both the act. For some reason or other, we did not begin that game of dominoes. We felt mediative. We felt meditative and fit for nothing but placid staring. The day was ending in a serenity of still and exquisite brilliance. The water
Exquisite
shone
brilliance, yes.
brilliance, ma'am.
Hmm.
Okay, the water shone pacifically.
Pacifically,
The sky, without a speck, was a
benign immensity,
benign immensity of unstained light. The very mist on the Essex marshes was like a gauzy and
gauzy,
radiant, gauzy and radiant fabric
yes.
hung from the wooded rises inland and draping the low shores in diaphanous
Diaphanous
folds.
folds.
Diaphanous folds. Only the gloom to the west, brooding over the upper reaches, became more somber every minute, as if angered by the approach of the sun. And at last, in its curved and imperceptible fall, the sun sank low and from glowing white changed to a dull red without trace and without heat, as if about to go out suddenly, stricken to death by the touch of that gloom brooding over a crowd of men.
Okay, good. But you need to improve your reading capability. So this passage is taken from The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. The author is Joseph Conrad, and the book's name is The Heart of Darkness. So this passage is taken from there. So it's not very easy passage. You can get there so many unknown words, and you can make a list. So the question is, the narrator of the passage is telling his story from a view of the deck of a yacht, a high vantage point, the edge of the Essex and marshes. So none of the above. What do you think? What is the correct answer? So I think it is the deck of a yacht, because you can see that afterwards there was silence on the board of yacht. Yacht means a boat. Now there are
Yes,
so
ma'am.
many.
The deck of
Yes, it is a boat, kind of a boat. Now I can like circle some new words, and you can uh, like find in the dictionary. So yacht is a new word. Dominoes means some kind of like game, some kind of like buttons or something. Then unstained, benign, brooding.
diaphanous, ma'am.
Yes, right. You can note down the words, and you can find after the class, and you can, by this way you can increase your vocabulary. I cannot see the word, but the word is there, I have seen. Okay, okay, I'm going to the next. Okay, mise en masse is also a new word. These are some new words you can get here. So the number 13 question is, the mood of the man in the message is described as surly, resigned, contemplative, restless, ecstatic. So contemplative means who is minding so many things. So I think it is contemplative. Number 14 is, it is clear that the men show a quiet understanding, cannot be bothered by one another, have just had quarrel and worn out. So you have to read the passage and understand. Okay, so this way you have to like solve the reading comprehension. We have done two reading comprehension today. And thank you, Jagdish, for reading passages today. So any query do you have? Any other student? Okay. Okay, so I am concluding the session here. We'll again come with some new passage in the next day. Thank you for your attention.